So when it comes to sleep, parents have usually tried everything and are doing it all right. The earlier bedtimes, blackout curtains, melatonin, white noise machines, and still their child's awake for 2, sometimes 3 hours when they clearly and desperately need more sleep. If that's your life right now, here's something important to understand. You're not failing at bedtime, and your child's not being difficult, I promise you. But what you're seeing, that exhausted but wired pattern, is a nervous system that's stuck. And there's no sleep routine, no supplement, no blackout curtain that can override a nervous system that's physiologically locked in fight or flight mode. So here's a number that stops most parents cold. Approximately 35% of children in the US are not getting enough sleep. That's more than 1 in 3 kids starting their day or walking into school running on empty. And this is the same story that we hear from families every single week, is that they've tried it all. The routines, the supplements, the schedules, and their child's still exhausted, still wired, still not sleeping. But what nobody is telling these parents is that the problem isn't at bedtime. And like I said before, the problem starts within the nervous system. And it often starts long before a bedtime routine was even a factor. So let's chat about what sleep's actually doing for your child. Now, most parents think of sleep as rest, but sleep is one of the most active, productive periods of your child's entire day. And here's what's happening while your child sleeps: the brain sorts and consolidates learning, strengthening neural connections, filing away everything from the day. Growth hormones that spike during our sleep. So your child's literally growing while they rest. The immune system produces infection fighting cells during deep sleep, which is why chronically sleep deprived kids get sick so constantly. You see, the brain processes emotions during REM cycles, meaning meltdowns and emotional dysregulation are often just a nervous system that's running on empty. The body is what repairs tissues, regulates hormones, and restores energy reserves. So this brings us back to the nervous system, which controls sleep, not habits. You see, our nervous system has a gas pedal, the sympathetic side for stress and alertness, but a brake pedal, which is the parasympathetic side for rest and recovery. Now, sleep only happens when the brake pedal wins that fight. So when the vagus nerve is not working properly, the body can shift from on off at bedtime. When there's interference in the system, what we call stress and subluxation, the brain and the body cannot communicate or signal sleep clearly. The brake pedal gets overridden by that gas pedal, and your child is stuck and wired even when they're completely exhausted. It's like trying to fall asleep after about 3 energy drinks, right? The body is done, but the system won't allow rest. This is a nervous system regulation issue, not a bedtime routine or a supplement problem. So, actually, a child's pattern of stressors that compound over time is what we call the perfect storm. There's cortisol and stress hormones from prenatal stress during pregnancy because that actually crosses the placenta and it alters baby's developing stress response system. And then birth interventions like inductions and forceps and vacuums or C-sections or even manual pulling can create this stress, stuckedness, and subluxation right where the vagus nerve exits the skull. Now, this affects breech babies too, because their position in utero creates physical stress and tension onto the body. Now, in early childhood, stressors like antibiotic use, disrupting the gut microbiome, the chronic reflux, the constipation, and frequent illness all signal vagus nerve problems and add to the burden on an already challenged system. Now, what we talk about is what's called dysautonomia. This is the dysfunction of the autonomic nervous system, and it often shows up first as sleep problems, long before it progresses. So, listen, you guys probably know this already, but when sleep is chronically disrupted, the effects of that actually reach into every single part of your child's development. Now, the research actually shows that children with insufficient sleep can present with signs that look identical to ADHD, to hyperactivity, to impulsivity, and poor attention because those are what exhaustion looks like in kids, not calm and sleepy. Now, the immune system cannot rebuild during poor sleep. So kids stay in a cycle: illness, antibiotics, gut disruption, worse vagus nerve function, worse sleep, and then more illness. From the cognitive academic side, actually, memory consolidation breaks down, making learning harder and school feel impossible. The brain's not filing it away to then use at a later date. Emotional regulation starts falling apart. Those explosive meltdowns our attitude. It's not a behavior issue, it's a depleted nervous system trying to rest, recuperate as much as possible to the demands of everyday life. Now, chronic sleep deprivation is actually strongly linked to depression and to anxiety because the nervous system itself does not have the resources to handle normal emotional challenges. But let's get into the nitty gritty of how neurologically focused chiropractic care restores sleep at the absolute source. Now, when we're talking about neurologically focused chiropractic care, we use precise, gentle chiropractic care, the adjustments to be able to remove that stress, stuck, subluxated state and help the nervous system to adapt. So, when this stress and subluxation is out of the way, that nervous system can finally shift between sympathetic and parasympathetic modes. It can actually access that rest, digest, calm, regulated state in the way that it was designed to. The vagus nerve can actually activate properly, initiating and maintaining real sleep cycles. Now, to do this, we actually use what's called the insight scanning technology. Now, this measures exactly what, where, and how this interference is happening, where and how severe that dysregulation within the brain and nervous system is, and what systems are most affected, so that we're never guessing when it comes to care. We're never guessing when it comes to the adjusting. Now, parents often tell us that sleep improves very, very quickly. Those are some of the first things that change: eating, sleeping, pooping, and calming. But it's then followed by better digestion, fewer illnesses, improved behavior, and more emotional resilience. The gas tank starts getting filled up, and they have more juice to be able to handle life's demands. Now, sleep's the foundation. So, when a child can access deep and restorative sleep, the memory consolidation, the growth hormone, the immune strengthening, and emotional processing, everything else then starts to follow. Now, remember, your child's struggle to sleep isn't behavioral. It isn't something that they just grow out of. It's a nervous system that's stuck, and there is a path forward. So, if you're ready to get to the real root of your child's sleep challenges, reach out to us at Haven Family Chiropractic right here in Katy, Texas. Check the link within our bio, send our office a DM, or you can schedule directly onto the website. And let's get your whole family sleeping again.